Welcome back to class. I hope you guys had a pleasant Thanksgiving, I guess. Anyways, since class has started, we should probably start now. I don't know.
Professor!
What?
What's the lecture even on today?
Do we have to do this?
Yes!
Fine. Today we will be discussing and analyzing the theme of disloyalty shown in the character Hotspur from Henry IV, Part 1. Hotspur, the well-respected, seemingly loyal son of Northumberland, is actually a much different person than how he presents himself to be. When Hotspur defeated the Welsh rebels, King Henry wanted the prisoners he captured. But Hotspur refused to give them to him. No matter how loyal one appears to be, they only have selfish motives in mind. So let's explore that now.
Yea, there, thou makest me sad, and makest me sin, in envy that my lord Northumberland should be the father to so blessed a son who is the theme of honour's tongue, amongst a grove the very straightest plant, who is sweet fortune's minion and her pride. Whilst I, by looking on the praise of him, see riot and dishonour stain the brow of my young Harry. Oh, that it could be proved that some night-tripping fairy had exchanged in cradle clothes our children where they lay, and called mine Percy and his Plantagenet. Then I would have his Harry, and he mine. But let him from my thoughts. What think you, coz, of this young Percy's pride? The prisoners which he has this adventure hath surprised. To his own use he keeps, and sends my word. I shall have none but Murdoch, Earl of Fife.
Okay, class, let's unpack that. The king praises Hotspur on his honor, pride, and loyalty. Shakespeare personifies honor as the theme of honor's tongue, to show the extent to which Hotspur is glorified and materializes honor. This is ironic because Hotspur is not loyal to the king at all. The way Hotspur presents himself to the public and the way he actually is are two completely different things. Additionally, the way the king puts his own son down shows how impressed the king is by Hotspur. The king is clearly in awe of the rigid discipline that Hotspur demonstrates, as he is described to be the very straightest plant. The king also sees Hotspur as the embodiment of sweet fortune's minion and her pride, further personifying him to be the ideal warrior in comparison to his own son Hal, especially because of his military success in capturing so many prisoners in the battle against the Welsh rebels. The king sees Hotspur as an honorable and straightforward person, while he claims his own son is a dishonor. However, Hotspur is actually a flaming, unloyal hothead. He's only loyal to himself, with too much pride and honor. This quote uses extensive literary technique to embellish the honorable character of Hotspur and all his successes.
So, what does this mean?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Why are you so stupid? The passage obviously shows that King Henry is more loyal to Hotspur than he is to his own son, which is super ironic because Hotspur despises the king and has an evil motive to join forces with other rebels and overthrow the king, which is so savage. All while Hal has a secret plan to impress him. The king's wish for Hotspur to be his own son rather than Hal is reinforced by the king's selfish desire to have a good reputation in his country. Among the king's desires is evidence that Hotspur is not really the person the king believes he is. The king thinks that Hotspur is a loyal English warrior, but is oblivious to the fact that the Hotspur is scheming against him. This clearly relates to our theme of disloyalty because while the king is being disloyal to his son, Hotspur is being disloyal to the king.
Shall it be that you a world of curses undergo, being the agents or base second means, the cords, the ladder, or the hangman rather? Oh, pardon me that I descend so low to show the line in the predicament, wherein you range under this subtle king.
Pause! Hotspur uses persuasion to turn Worcester onto his side and incites anger in Worcester by telling him how he has been used and played. Hotspur compares his uncle Worcester, a great noble, to a rope, a cord, a ladder, or a hangman, in other words, a pawn in the king's game. This is meant to both insult and inspire anger in Worcester. Continue!
Shall it for shame be spoken in these days, or fill up these chronicles in time to come, that men of your nobility and power did gauge them both in an unjust behalf, as both of you, God pardon it, have done, to put down Richard, that sweet, lovely rose, and plant this thorn, this canker, this Bolingbroke?
Pause. Hotspur in his anger compares King Richard to a beautiful rose, while comparing King Henry to an imperfection on the rose. Hotspur's reference to the king as Bolingbroke rather than his title also shows his disdain for him. Continue.
And shall it in more shame be further spoken that you are fooled, discarded, and shook off by him for whom these shames ye underwent?
Pause. Hotspur uses emotionally packed words like banished, jeering, and disdained. These words are very expressive of what Hotspur believes and his personality. Continue.
No, yet time stirs wherein you may redeem your banished honors and restore yourselves into the good thoughts of the world again. Revenge the jeering and disdained contempt of this proud king, and who studies day and night to answer all the debt he owes you, even with the bloody payment of your death.
Pause. Hotspur uses words like debt and payment to compare the murder of King Richard to something like a monetary transaction, taking the moral and humane nature out of the situation, therefore dehumanizing King Henry IV.
Whoa! 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 Are we in King Henry's throne room?
No. We're in my classroom. Hotspur's speech, as you can see, indirectly characterizes him by showing his capability of using words and phrases to manipulate Worcester. Hotspur insults Worcester in order to convey the message that he's only being used as a tool for the king. This is ironic because Hotspur is only saying this in an effort to make Worcester angry enough to overthrow the king for him, thus making Worcester Hotspur's tool. This quote also shows Hotspur's apparent short temper, which would be an advantageous on the battlefield, yet a complication in dealing with personal relationships. Hotspur's anger makes him a disloyal character due to his tendencies to do things out of spite. Hotspur acts like this because he wants Mortimer back and realizes that the only way to get him is if King Henry is dethroned. So, with all this said, are you guys ready for your time to write tomorrow?
Just ask her.
I have a question. I wasn't really sure if my image that I got from what you were saying really matched with your image of what you thought, because like, you know, Shmoop and like Spark Dance, they all have like different images, and I have an image and you have an image, so they might be different images, and I was wondering if you could just clarify like what the image was, please.
So basically you didn't listen to anything I said.
No.
Look, I'll clarify, alright? So basically, no matter how loyal one may seem to be, they only have selfish motives at mind.
Good job. So proud of you. Okay guys, class dismissed. Be ready to do your time right tomorrow. Yippee!
Do I go?
Go.
Professor,
What?
what is the lecture actually on today?
Do we have to do this?
Yeah!
Stop! Don't. From Henry IV, Part 1.
What are you moving?
And mine called Percy, his plantain makes me sad and make it
Curses you undergo. Being the agents or base second means.
I hate that.
Okay, guys.
guys. One. You can. What?
No. It's not coming down to my head. No. It's still stuck.
Well, like the image that you had is kind of different from the image that I had, so I don't really know if I was listening or not because the image is kind of like going around in my head and I really don't know what's going on.
So basically, no. She didn't. Okay.
Okay, guys. Class dismissed.
Oh my god!